You know what I intend to be queen. When I grow up, I'm going to be the biggest queen there ever was. And when I go on my coach, all the people will cheer and I will shout at them. And in the summertime, I will go to my summertime palace and I'll wear my crown and swimming and everything. And when I go out, they'll wave and I'll shout at them. What do you mean I can't be queen? No one should be kept from being queen if she wants to be one. Well, it's usually just a matter of knowing the right people. Well, if I can't be queen, then I'll be very rich. And I'll buy myself a queendom. Yes, I'll buy myself a queendom, and I'll kick out the old queen and take over the whole operation myself, and I'll be head queen.
Shiloh, authored by Phyllis Reynolds Naylor. Bethany Bennett created the Reader's Theater. One night, the Preston family sat down for dinner. Mom is upset that Marty is not eating his supper. He is sick to his stomach about having to eat rabbit that his father shot.
Why do people have to be so cruel to animals?
It's not cruel when you're trying to put food on the table.
Marty starts to eat, but he's not happy.
What do you plan on doing this summer?
Well, I might go hang with David Howard.
Well, that'll take up some of your time, but we gotta think of some other things for you to do.
The next day, Marty went for a walk down a gravel road. He saw a dog.
Come here, boy. Come here. Oh, you're a nice boy. I think I'll call you Shiloh.
Marty heads home and shows his parents Shiloh.
Look what followed me home. Can I keep it? Can I keep him, please? Please? I'll take care of it, I promise.
Oh, we can barely feed ourselves, let alone a dog. We don't even have enough money to do that. And besides, I think that's one of Judd Travis's dogs.
You know Judd Travis don't treat them dogs right. He'll hurt Shiloh.
We aren't keeping him. Now, we're going to get in the truck right now and take him back. Let's go.
Marty and Dad jump into the Jeep with Shiloh and head to Judd's house.
Hey, Judd, I think we've got one of your hunting dogs.
Dad returns the dog and Judd kicks Shiloh.
Don't do him like that. You'll hurt him.
Judd takes the dog and kicks him again, just for spite. The next morning, Marty took a walk and hears a dog whimpering.
Shiloh, is that you, boy? Come here. I knew you'd come back. You're trembling. Did Judd Travers hurt you? I promise I'll never let Judd Travers see you again. I promise.
Marty builds a shelter for Shiloh to keep him safe from Judd. But unfortunately, Shiloh was attacked. The whole family woke hearing yelps, growls, and snarls. The dog was taken to Doc Murphy's. The parents are upset because Marty is hiding the dog. And now the cost of the vet bill and explaining all this to Judd. Judd learned about his dog being hurt from townfolk. He went over to the Preston's house. Ray Preston, I hear you got my dog.
Well, we've been taking care of him. He's been hurt awful bad, you know, and we wanted to make sure he pulled through. You know, Marty's awfully attached to that dog, and maybe we can scrape up enough money to buy him from you.
That dog ain't for sale, and I want it back by Sunday. Oh. To learn more about the fate of Shiloh and Marty, check out a copy of the book Shiloh at your nearest library.
Though a deer, a female deer, ray, a drop of golden sun. Me, a name I call myself, but a long, long way to run. So a needle pulling thread, la, a note to follow slow. Tea, a drink with jam and bread, that will bring us back to do, 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 do. I'm Liesel. I'm 16 years old, and I don't need a governess. I did it the wrong way. Reverend Mother, I have sinned. Me too, Reverend Mother. What is this sin, my children? Liesel, now what happened to your finger? It got caught. Caught in what? Friedrich's teeth.
So, the big day finally came, and with the girls behind me, I was confident, I was focused, I was a rock. That is, until I heard that evil voice screeching from downstairs. That same voice that has turned my blood to ice for as long as I can remember. Miranda, I'm here. I don't have all day. Where are you? I wavered slightly, but pulled it together like a champ. Up here, grandmother, on the veranda. And I knew there was no going back. I had to make this work. And then she appeared.
Somewhere over the rainbow, way up high, there's a land that I heard of once in a lullaby. Somewhere over the rainbow, skies are blue, and the dreams that you dare to dream really do come true. Put 'em up, put 'em up. Which one of you first? I'll fight you both together if you want. I'll fight you with one paw tied behind my back. I'll fight you standing on one foot. I'll fight you with my eyes closed. I'll get you, my pretty, and your little dog too.
All the world's a stage, and all the men and women merely players. Oh, they have their exits and their entrances, and one man in his time plays many parts, his acts being 7 ages. At first, the infant, mewling and puking in the nurse's arms. Oh, and then the whiny schoolboy, with his satchel and shining morning face, creeping like a snail unwillingly to school. Then the lover, sighing like a furnace, with a woeful ballad made to his mistress's eyebrow. Ugh. Then the soldier, full of strange oaths and bearded like the pard, jealous in honor, sudden and quick in quarrel, seeking the bubble reputation, even in the cannon's mouth. And then the justice, in fair round belly and good cape and line, with eyes severe and beard of formal cut, full of wise saws and modern instances, and so he plays his part. The 6th age shifts into the lean and slippered pantaloon, with spectacles on eyes and pouch on side, his youthful hose well saved, a world too wide for his shrunk shank. Ooh. And his big, manly voice is turning again towards childish treble, pipes and whistles in his sound. Last scene of all, that ends this strange, eventful history, is second childishness and mere oblivion. sans teeth, sans eyes, sans taste, sans everything.
A C? A C? I got a C on my coat hanger project. Who gets a C in coat hanger project? May I ask a question? Was I being judged on the piece of sculpture itself? If so, is it not true that time alone can judge a work of art? Or was I being judged on my talent? If so, is it fair that I be judged on a part of my life over which I have no control? If I was being judged on my effort, then I was being judged unfairly, for I tried as hard as I could. Or was I being judged on what I had learned about this project? If so, then were not you, my teacher, also being judged on your ability to transmit your knowledge to me? Are you willing to share my C? Well, perhaps I was being judged on the quality out of which coat hanger was made. Now, is that not also unfair? Am I to be judged on the quality of coat hangers that are used by the local dry cleaning establishment that returns our garments? Is that not the responsibility of my parents? Should they not share my C?
Last night, right from the start, I knew I was bombing. I sounded all big and phony, real thee and thou. And then I started rushing it. Hi, what's new in Denmark? I couldn't get a hold of it. I could not connect. And as I'm up there babbling, I look out and I see a guy in the second row, a kid, maybe 16, obviously dragged there. I mean, he's yawning, fidgeting his legs, reading his program, and I wanted to say to him, kid, I'm with you. I can't stand this crap either. But I couldn't, so I just keep feeling worse and worse. I mean, just drowning. And I have this moment where I think, okay, all of my questions are answered. I'm not Hamlet. I'm no actor. What am I doing here? And then I get to the soliloquy, the big job, and I am right in the headlights, and I think, oh, Christ, just do it. To be or not to be? That is the question. Whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against a sea of troubles, and by opposing, end them. And I finish the speech, and I look out, and the kid is listening. The whole audience, complete silence, total focus, and I was Hamlet. And it only lasted about another 10 seconds, and then I was in hell. But for that one moment, for that one speech, I had it. Hamlet. And only 8,000 lines left to go.
It was the best of times, it was the worst of times. No, that sounds boring. Once upon a time, this story's not any fairy tale. In a land far, no. 2 decades and 1 year ago, I never thought writing a book would be so hard, especially one about my own life. How about we start out simple? Chapter 1, birth. On April 5th, 2000, a baby girl was born to David Arthur Higgins and Teresa Lynn Polasic. Quite a monster baby, 9 pounds and 6 ounces, biggest baby in the hospital, I was told. And soon she was named Ariel Caroline Higgins. And yes, after The Little Mermaid, and yes, it did haunt her through life. I should know, I am her. And it was all good until I turned 4. Chapter 2, divorce. I remember hearing my father yell all the way from upstairs. I came down to the kitchen and saw him yelling at my mom, tears running down her face. I walked up to her and told her to pick me up, and she did. And I just remember wiping the tears away from her face, my hands covered wet. And I said, "Are you okay, Mommy?" And she put me down and told me to go play. A year later, they divorced. I don't remember anything. I don't remember the move. I barely even remember transferring schools. The one thing I do remember is that I cried. For 6 months, my father didn't want to see me. I thought he was dead. And I realized that 6 months, he didn't talk to me, call me, anything. He didn't want to see his own kid, which that was just the beginning. Chapter 3, father. How to begin? My father is not a very good man, to put it mildly. He was in and out of my life, and I mean, at the age of 8, I almost got shot because of him. At the age of 9, I was told, "Get out of here, I never want to see your face again." He yelled at me and threatened to smack me across the face while I packed my stuff waiting for my mom to come at 1 a.m. I didn't see him for another 4 months. Then, once my baby brother was born, he didn't care about the rest of his kids that were all daughters. But I remember going to the hospital and seeing my baby brother. He looked just like me. Everything. And I remember my dad sneaking up on me and saying, "You're going to help me take care of him, aren't you?" I nodded yes, not knowing what I was getting into. A year later, my baby brother was calling me Mommy. His biological mother didn't take that well. Kicked my dad out and yelled and screamed at me, saying how worthless I am, and smacked me. I left. And at the age of 12, I stopped seeing my father altogether. I didn't hear from him for almost 3 years. I was eating with my mother, and suddenly I get a Facebook message saying Dad is dead. Nothing else. For 3 years, this man didn't call me, text me, tell me anything, didn't care, didn't love me. And I never got to say goodbye. The last thing that man told me was, "You're a bitch," when I was 12. I didn't cry over him. I cried over what could have been. And several years later, I've forgotten all about him. And that might sound cruel, but it brings me peace because he was never there to begin with. Chapter 4, Theater. At the age of 13, I joined Twin City Players, my first play being Best Christmas Pageant ever. I was so excited. And ever since then, I didn't stop. I did acting, dancing, singing, construction, lights, sound, set building, anything I could get my hands on. And it gave me what I've always wanted. A funny, dramatic, chaotic, loving, big family. I finally felt like I fit in for the first time in my life. Chapter 5, College. Now we're about to enter the dark part of our story, or well, darker. Most people use college as a self-discovery, like it's the greatest part of their lives. I had a self-discovery, but it wasn't that. I was with a boy who I thought was a perfect boyfriend. That was a lie. No matter what I said. It became abusive quicker than I would like to admit. And I stayed, defended him, because I didn't think I deserved better. I didn't want to be alone, and I thought he was the best I was ever going to get. I went to college, and it got worse. He would visit multiple times a week, even when I said no. Even when I was in classes, he would stand out the building waiting for me. Eventually, I started partying and drinking, hoping to just forget about all my problems. It just worsened them. On a Friday night, I was taken advantage of by my own classmate who I trusted. And my perfect boyfriend told everyone I was a whore. Told our friends and family lies that I cheated, and everybody laughed. I was alone. Soon after, I was sick with strep, to the point I couldn't scream, I couldn't move, I couldn't do anything. He texted my roommate saying, "I want to take care of her. Just let me in." So she did. I stopped feeling then. I drunk until I ended up in random places that I can't even tell you how I got there. I stopped going to classes. I got suicidal to the point I wasn't allowed to lock my door, have sharp objects, and I always had to have someone with me. My mom eventually took me out of college and kicked that perfect boyfriend out of my life. He threatened to kill my family, and for months, I couldn't sleep. For months, I had a knife by my bed waiting, hoping that I would make it to my 19th birthday. Chapter 6, Recovery. I am now 21 years old, diagnosed with bipolar, borderline personality disorder, major depression disorder, generalized anxiety disorder, and PTSD. About 2 years ago, I came out as a pan-romantic, pansexual, pangender person. I now go by Ash, they, them. And through the right meds and therapy and friends and family, I've never been happier. I've never been thriving more. But I think it's time to close this book and start anew. And I'm moving to New York. This is my goodbye monologue, my exit monologue, because I'm dramatic like that.